John DeBillis here. I'm at the Commons with Ken Canedo and Jesse Manibusan. We're going to talk about the Gospel of John, electric bass lines, and their inspiration for their new song, In the Beginning. Please stay with us. So, the Gospel of John, chapter 1, right? Verse 1 through 14.
Yes.
How did that inspire this song in the beginning? How did you guys even come to be talking about that?
Well, the prologue of John is one of the most iconic stanzas in the whole Gospel, in the whole New Testament. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Strangely enough, there aren't too many modern Christian songs that quote that. And it set the stage. John was a different kind of evangelist. He was setting the stage for his community to present Jesus as the light of the world. We used to hear that gospel as Catholics every single Mass we went to before Vatican II. It was in Latin. It was known as the last gospel. Since the changes in the liturgy of the Second Vatican Council, that gospel only appears at Mass during the day for Christmas Day. So from every day of the year to one day, that iconic prologue of John has become less and less heard by today's generation. So I thought, I've always wanted to do a song of that. So I started talking with Jesse about the ideas.
And, you mentioned that that John's prologue was kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Different and remarkable. How did that come across in the choice of instrumentation and how the music was written?
Well, the way the song came about, I came up with a remnant of the song. I took the words of the gospel, and you can see it right in the lyrics. I kind of set it to some chord patterns, and I sang it and played it in a demo, and I sent it to Jesse. And then Jesse took it from there.
Which is how we've done a lot of our collaborative writing. One of us will start and then pass it on and then send it back and then send it back.
Right. We used to live down the street from each other in the Diocese of Oakland. No more.
Yeah.
And we've actually gotten a lot more done. Now that we live far away, we actually write more together. Nice. So, that's... Ken had sent me what he had created, and then I listened to it, and then I played what he had done in a manner that maybe as if, what would this sound like if I was playing it at one of my parish missions or one of the concerts? What would this sound like? And then sent it back, recorded another version of it back to Ken, back and forth, and then eventually did the first two verses of the song are actually scriptural. They're directly from the scripture. And then the third verse, I wanted to create something more from this moment, today's understanding of how to flesh out the ancient text into a lived experience today that we could relate to. So it was truly a fun collaborative experience.
Yeah, and for me, listening to the recording, it was so great because that bass line that you came up with, Ken, is so declarative and really emboldens the scripture. And then the chorus it has this beautiful lift to it. I mean, you could hear the congregation singing along with it. Do you mind sampling or trying to... Because that bass line is in my head constantly, but I know if I hum it, it's not going to be the same.
Right. Well, this is kind of a Commons first. We've never demoed a bass line on the Commons before. So we'll try. Basically, the chords are E minor, C, and D. And if you know the history of rock music, a lot of the great bass riffs are based on songs that have simple chords like that. So when we were recording this in this very studio, I had some great musicians. The bass player for that night was Eric Macias. And they were playing the riff, and suddenly I started hearing that. a lot of hammering on. And so when you hear that, you say, I keep saying, repeat that, repeat that, repeat that. We even made it a little bit of a solo break in the middle of the song. And the purpose of a bass line is to make it memorable for the people who hear it. And it's one of those riffs where you can't get it out of your head after you hear it.
Exactly.
And so I figured, well, if people can't get it out of their head, hopefully the same thing will be true of the lyrics, the scripture.
Yeah.
They can't keep that out of their head.
Well, exactly. That's I feel like the minor chord almost emboldens the scripture, and then the walking bass line leads you right into that lift of the chorus. It's just really a magnificent song. So
It's funny in that I did not have anything to do with the arrangement of it. I was out, I don't know where I was. I was out there somewhere traveling somewhere on the planet, and Ken would text me and say, I'm sending you some roughs. So Dean and Jeremy were engineering and doing a lot of the production of the song, building the song. Ken would send it, and I'd be floored going, whoa, okay, I didn't write that. This is remarkable. So it was really a great team effort in the production crew and the writing, the arranging. So that's always a blast for me because that's not my skill set.
right.
I just look like Bruno Mars and sing. So that's my thing.
Well, say what you will, but what I appreciate about your voice and the songwriting style that you guys have together is that you can actually hear the congregation singing in the background. It's accessible, and it's catchy, and yet still works with the scripture and brings you to a place of worship. And I'm thankful for it at my parish. I know that, and I know the young people are. So, is it true that you're going to perform it as well?
We are.
Well, stick around and for a performance of "In the Beginning" by Ken Canedo and Jesse Manibusan.
The beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God in the beginning. Through God all things came into being, without God nothing came to be, and all find life in God from the beginning. And the light shines on, oh, the light shines on, and the darkness will never overcome. And the light shines on, oh, the light shines on, and the darkness will never overcome. Became a human being. Yes, the Word was made flesh, and He makes His home with us, living among us. We have seen the light of His glory as the Father's only Son, full of grace and truth from the beginning.